Hi, everyone. I noticed a couple days ago that we hit 500 subscribers, which is huge. It's awesome. I'm so happy to be able to provide content to everybody who follows me and to everybody who doesn't follow me, and just be able to enrich people's lives with like music, or maybe possibly learning something with the creative exploration stuff, or whatever. I'm just happy to be part of your life, and that means a ton to me. I figured I'd do a really short Q&A. Today it was kind of impromptu. I sent a message out on Twitter and I got a couple responses. And I wanted to go through them real quick. So, my buddy, Jeffrey Sika, asked, what's the most important thing you've learned about yourself since you started your YouTube presence? Which I think is a really apt question. And honestly, I think the biggest thing that I learned about myself is just learning that I'm less of an introvert than I thought I was. I'm still definitely not an extrovert. I get really nervous. I have pretty bad social anxiety in like crowds, but I learned that I'm able to actually talk to people and it's not as weird or awkward as I imagine it in my head, which, most introverts imagine. You know how that goes. And I feel like I'm getting better at communicating. I know when I started streaming, I had a lot of ums and ahs and all that other stuff. And generally, now I'm able to convey what I want to say more directly and without a lot of filler or stumbling around with my words. So, the next question was from Kendrick, or Kendo, one of the Twitch viewers that are... He's there pretty often. Whoops, I clicked off the question. So he asks, what's the most enjoyable thing about writing music? And I think, honestly, the most enjoyable thing for me is to share it and bring it out into the world and let people listen to it, enjoy it, use it in their media, their games, their whatever. It's like, I like making things that enable other people to make things, and I think that's it's a personal thing. Like, obviously everybody's different, but I really enjoy being able to create something that other people find worthy enough to use, because there's so much music out there. Like Incompetech, I think that's how you say it, Incompetech has so much music out there that's free, and it's like, you just use it, and when people use my music, it's like, well, they might have paid through it through the Patreon, or they might have found it on SoundCloud or something else, but it's like they decided to use that aside from all the other libraries that are out there. And that's huge for me. That means a ton, and I'm so happy that I'm able to do that. So really the biggest driver for me, and one of the things that makes me happy about writing music, is being able to share it and allow other people to enjoy it as well. So the next question comes from Cade, or the video game music covers, and he's also a very big follower and subscriber to both the YouTube and my Twitter account. And he asked, what was it like when you first started writing music or making music? And the short answer is confusing. Now, I knew a lot of the basic music stuff because I had been in band for a very long time. I played the trombone for about 8 years in middle and high school band. So I was aware of like notation and like the general music theory stuff when it comes to like writing stuff down, but I didn't know anything about composition. So there was a lot of muddling around, just picking and choosing notes and finding the ones that worked best. Like I had a cursory training on piano, so I knew how to plunk around on a keyboard and figure out how things worked. But I didn't really have any way of knowing what was the right notes and the wrong notes, big air quotes there. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a very explorative way of writing music, and I think it definitely has my very early stuff definitely has a different style and feel than the stuff that I do now, because obviously, like most artists, people evolve and change styles. I do actually have something on Bandcamp that has all of my early music down to one of the first songs I ever wrote, and that's called Formative, and you can find that right up there. And it's like my first 5 albums that I kind of released privately. I used to I used to give my music as Christmas presents, or in lieu of Christmas presents, depending on how much value you want to put on it. But I had like a tape that I gave people, and then when I graduated, like when technology evolved enough to go to CDs, then I started giving them burned CDs. And I think the music overall is really cool, but it's kind of all over the place. So yeah. What was the next question? D-Rake, I call him Drake, but it's probably something else. He asks, what is your inspiration for making music? And that's a really tough question, actually. I get inspired by listening to other people's music, specifically independent artists. I do like listening to pop music, but I don't often get inspired by it in the same way. I do love listening to independent artists because they have such wide creativity, and it's so great to just absorb all of that and just say, oh, that's cool, I want to try to learn how they made that, or how to do this technique. So yeah, it's mostly just listening to other people is what I get most of my inspiration. Sometimes I'm in the shower, I'm walking around, and I get struck by an idea, but that's more rare than just kind of listening to things that I like to hear and like artists that I like, and just seeing what they have to offer, and then I just incorporate what I like into what I do. And I don't really necessarily feel that that's stealing, quote unquote, because obviously every artist puts their own spin on what they do. It's just taking those core ideas, those core concepts, and just messing around with it a little bit. Now, another way to interpret your question is, what is your motivation for music? And I think that, like I said before, like my main motivation is sharing the music and just allowing it to be heard by people. And my main motivation, I think, is just that I am making things that I like, and that's really it. I make music that I want to hear. I guess that's kind of my big motivation. So I have another question here from Jeffrey Sika. And which creative piece are you most fond or proud of? And don't wuss out. Pick something. And okay. So the album, I would say, Covered in Cats. That was the album that I made last November, and I feel like it has a really, really great variety of songs in it. Both from like a very just general nature to a very personal nature. And above and beyond that, a lot of those songs were produced during the month of November. I'm kind of proud of myself for it being such a fast turnaround time, and the variety of music, and the fact that I actually sung on some of them. I'm not a very good singer, but I really do like the song. I kind of want to go back and redo it and properly treat the vocals in that track. So for the personal song, if we're not talking about albums, my personal favorite song would probably be Sanctuary, which is off of the Three Red Hearts album. And I feel like this song just does so much with so little. And it's one of the few times that I've been able to get very, very true ambient music, or at least kind of chill out type music, with FamiTracker, because there's like the limitations are so hard, and the waveforms you have to work with are all raw waveforms, like triangle, square, and it's really hard to get smooth flowing music out of it, and Sanctuary really, really nails that, and I'm very proud of that song. So the next question came from Slam House, and he asks, what is your Desert Island album? Now, I replied saying the joke answer to this is John Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds. And if you don't know what that is, you should look it up. Otherwise, I honestly have to say that the Fez soundtrack is one of my favorite albums. And I think that it would make a very, very great deserted island album, because there's a lot of variety in there. Each song has layers and just tons and tons of richness in it. And the execution in the album as a whole is just top notch. I really love that album. I actually haven't heard it lately, but the fact that I can remember most of the songs on it definitely counts for something, and that's probably the album that I would bring along on a Deserted Island. Plus, it's kind of long. It's not like I think it's like maybe an hour, maybe less than that, but it's long enough to where if I loop it, then I wouldn't get super bored. So the next question is from Drake again. Here's one that I think would be interesting. What are you currently working on? Now, I have a lot of things that I'm currently working on. The first one is a air combat game that somebody I met on Reddit is making. I don't think there's a demo or anything out there, so I won't show any screenshots. But I'm making a handful of tracks for that, just for them to do a proof of concept, and then if they are moving forward with that, then I'll be doing a full album for them. I'm continuing work on the Maker's Eden series. The last part 3, is actually coming out hopefully in 4 or 5 months, so I actually need to start working on that album very soon. I really love the world that game has, and it's actually the first game soundtrack that I ever made. So I'm really excited to kind of bookend that project, because I'll have these 3 albums, parts 1, 2, and 3, that all like kind of encompass my entire career as a musician for games so far, and I think that that's super cool. I'm working on a personal album, which I've kind of hinted during streams and other stuff, and it's gonna be cool. It's tied to the creative process and tied to coming up with ideas, and a little bit tied to the creative exploration series that I've been working on. It's really neat, and I'm looking forward to working on that a little bit more. Beyond that, I'm still plowing away on the creative exploration series. I have a lot of cool stuff in store for there. I think I still have like 18 or 20 topics left on my list, and I'm adding 1 or 2 a week, so hopefully I'll never run out, but we'll see. And then it's a nice segue, because I am planning on starting a new series next month, and that is called the Extended Play series. And what that is because I have so many friends who are independent musicians, and I want to help showcase their music on this channel. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna go and talk to those musicians and get permission, of course, to basically play their album front to back on my stream, or on my YouTube. And I'll have some kind of gameplay in the background. It might be Minecraft or Big Pharma or something like some kind of ambient game. So it's not about the game. That's just kind of background visuals if you're the type of person that needs to watch something while you listen to music. And yeah, so my goal for this is to basically just help get more people to listen to more music. And ideally, me showcasing this music will get people to go out and buy it or download it and, like, you know, make more connections. And I'm really excited to be able to do this, because this is something I've planned on for a very long time. So I really am looking forward to starting this Extended Play series, and hopefully it will go places. So I hit 500 subscribers, and I'm not entirely sure what I should do for it. One thing that I was thinking is just to do some kind of short game series. So I would play something through from start to finish and then post it either in one large block or just parcel it out over maybe 6 or 10 episodes, depending on how long it takes. And that might be a lot of fun. So I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I know I bought Undertale like a million years ago, and I know that's kind of a divisive game for a lot of people. It's very polarizing. I haven't played it, so I don't really know what to expect. So yeah, I bought Undertale. That was one that I was thinking of. I started playing Cities Skylines, and I'm terrible at it. There's a bunch of games that I'd like to just kind of pick up and play. I thought about playing Super Meat Boy from start to finish, but I have a feeling those last like 30 levels will be like 90% of the video. So yeah, whatever. If you have thoughts on games to play, I would love to hear them in the comments. And if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments as well, because I will try my best to respond to everybody. So thank you so much for your subscription, or if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, because I almost have a new video every day now. I'm getting very, very close to that. With the Extended Play series starting, I will only not be posting a video on Wednesday. So I'm actually really proud of that fact as well. So yeah, I couldn't have done this without you guys. I really, really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.